yeah. Welcome back. It's been a minute and a half since we've been able to talk to you guys, and we are thrilled to be with you guys on a Wednesday night. I'm your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and we got our back in a full house tonight. We got the GM, G Mike, and we have our man, BC. And boys, it is damn good to see you guys. How have things been going? It's been a little while since we've been out here, a few weeks. I'm going to start with you, Mr. G Mike. How have you been, man? It's been a little while.
Been great, baby. Feeling good, living right, working hard each and every day. You already know, and it's good to be back. I know we've been off for a couple of weeks, but we back on and popping, baby.
There we go. How about you, Mr. BC, man? It's been a couple of weeks. How's everything going for you, buddy?
Been doing good, man. Just been putting in the work, both sides, on the camera, on the mic, just trying to make a living, trying to get that rent paid by the end of this month. So, man, y'all already know how it is, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've been to 2 concerts and started a master's degree, man, in the last month. So it's been an interesting couple months.
Been busy.
Yeah, it's been an interesting month this month, to say the least. All right, well, fellas, tonight we have a fun-filled show. Of course, man, we got the NBA draft going on as we speak right now, so we'll be giving you live updates, especially when our team goes. Considering my team already went first, we can go ahead and jump into that in a little bit, but. And we also got some Aaron Rodgers news. I thought this was kind of interesting, so we can definitely dive a little deeper into this one and see how this goes. And then we also have 2 fun-filled Downbad debates for you that's going to go pretty cool. One's a little bit different. One's a little bit different from sports. We're trying to just mix it up a little bit, have a little fun out there tonight. But before we get into all that good sports stuff, Mr. G. Mike, won't you let the good people know what you have going on for you?
Yes, sir. Guys, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips. $10 a month to get you anywhere from $25 to $50 to $100 a day. You'll see the link pop up in the chat if you're watching the live show. If not, if you're watching the recorded episode, you'll see it pop up on the screen. And then my socials, because if you can't get in the link, just hit me up on one of my socials. We'll start a conversation to get you on and going.
There we go. Mr. BC, I know we were talking about it before. You got some new stuff coming up. Why don't you go ahead and let the people know what you got going on, buddy?
Yeah, before I do, of course, you guys already know. Y'all been watching for a long time. The missus and I got a little small business down here, Brandes.media. We got your wedding photography, engagement photography, videography, event photography, videography. We're going corporate now as well. So if you know anybody that's trying to get, a big corporate event, got a big wedding, got an engagement, very nice, intimate, even some family formals and stuff like that, we got you guys covered. If you want photos, you want videos, we got it all at Brandes.media. Check out the portfolio, see for what you want. Central Florida's premier videographer, photographer, power couple down here. Again, Brandes.media. We make memories that last a lifetime. And like you guys said, I didn't get a chance to cover this in a little beforehand as well. Just launched my own website, BC the brand. You guys can kind of see the link in my little tag there for as far as the social media handles. Find me on Instagram right now, on Facebook. Also, again, bcthebrand.com. I just got all of my camera stuff. I've got all my announcing work, blogs and everything, just kind of detailing the journey and stuff like that. You guys want to take a look at it. And if you or anybody wants to get somebody for some voiceover work, let me know. I got you guys covered. It's going to be popping. We'll get it going. bcthebrand.com.
There we go, man. Making big moves, man. We also got 2 other people we want to definitely give a shout out. That's been with us for a while here, Varsity Sports Nation. It's your premier sports app, man. If you want high school sports, they got you. You want college sports, they got you, man. You want sports like you're watching right now on our show, you can catch us on demand, and they got you on that as well. There's a bunch of other great collaborators on there and people that are making a lot of great content. The best part about the app is that it's easy to download, man. It's on your iOS, your Android, your Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and pretty much anywhere you get your social medias, you can find them, and you can find things on demand as well as live sports from that as well on demand as well. So check out Varsity Sports Nation. They support us. They've been a great help for us. And we also want to give a shout out to Millions.co. They're another great brand that is doing big things. If you really like to get involved with interviews and to see other athletes, this is your great source to get in with that. Check out Millions.co. All right, fellas, we have some big stuff going on. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Aaron Rodgers news so we can get the draft to get a little bit further in. Man, so this was a lot of interesting news coming out this week that are actually pretty much fresh off the press. Aaron Rodgers has pretty much said, when this is done, I'm done and you won't see me. Meaning that he's going to be...
bar, boy. That boy dropped a bar. Hold on. Read that again. Read that again for the audience in the back, baby.
Yeah, there we go. When this is done, I'm done and you won't see me. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He seems like he's all of a sudden kind of made a change of pace and a change of character, I suppose, after all the drama that was going on. Is he going to sign? Is he not going to sign? Well, it looks like he's being pretty transparent. And he also said on the Pat McAfee show that Pittsburgh did not need to give me any extra deals, any extra years. I think this is going to be it for us. BC, man, do you really believe that this is it for Aaron Rodgers? And if it is, what do you think of it?
I mean, I pretty much think it is. I think the Jets years kind of showed us that this is kind of his last ride. Maybe he pulls a Favre, because those two are inexplicably linked until the end of time. Maybe he does one more season like Favre did in Minnesota before calling it quits. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes on that same run like he did, maybe bowing out in the conference championship, tries to run it back one more time. But I mean, I think he is done. He spent 21 seasons in the league now. He's accomplished pretty much anything and everything that he needs to accomplish. 4 MVPs, Super Bowl ring. Many have debated him as the most talented quarterback of all time. Maybe not the greatest, but the most talented for sure. The arm, scrambling ability, the accuracy. And I mean, there are some things, if you want to say, that he could be fighting for. I've just got it pulled up right here from NFL.com. Needs 6 passing touchdowns to be 4th all time on the list. 37 if he wants to go to 3rd all time. Just needs just over 1,000 yards to get 5th all time on that passing list, and then just needs a win versus Green Bay, become the 5th quarterback with victories over all 32 NFL teams. So he does have a few things to play for here in Pittsburgh, but I think aside from that, he's pretty much done everything he needs to do.
G Mike, man, what do you think? This legacy is this? What do you think about him possibly calling it a career, man?
Yeah, I think he's going to end it for sure. I think he's already obviously at that tail end of his career. I mean, he's super old. You saw it last year and even the season before that when he tore his Achilles and all that. It's good for him to end it how he's going to end it now at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like he had mentioned in that interview in the Pat McAfee show, that it's a cornerstone of the NFL. It's a great franchise, and under Mike Tomlin, who's a Hall of Fame coach, he knows how to win football games. Aaron Rodgers knows how to win football games. And he could be a great mentor for Will Howard, which I think he's going to be a great asset for the Pittsburgh Steelers the next few years to come, maybe the next 10 years. Who knows? But he did really well in Ohio State. He did really well in the national championship. He has a lot of IQ out there on the field. I think he could be a great quarterback. And when you have a mentor like Aaron Rodgers, like BC said, one of the most talented quarterbacks in NFL history, who is teaching you at the top of the realm, I think is just great for Pittsburgh overall on that offense. And it's a great way for Aaron Rodgers to try to end his legacy in the NFL field. I mean, you got what arguably I think we can all agree with a top 10 defense in this next season coming up. Yeah. They've made moves and they've always been in contention when it comes to their defense. They literally made the playoffs last year just because of their defense. Mm-hmm. So you bring in a superstar quarterback. Yes, he's very old and he's on that tail end of his career. But you bring in a quarterback like that who can maybe do some work and get this offense going. Got a top 10 defense like that, mesh it together, and hey, you're getting an NFC championship run. Who knows? But I think he does call it a quits after this year.
Yeah, and I think what's the interesting with Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career is that, you go back to not that long ago, Peyton Manning. You go back to even longer than that, John Elway. A lot of these guys at the tail end of their career, they were on good defensive teams that helped kind of carry it along the way. With John Elway's case, he had Terrell Davis, and they were just smart enough to hand out the ball. I think he only threw for like 124 yards, something along those lines. A lot of these guys that it's all about being able to not make the turnovers and understanding how to actually play the game the right way. So I think if Rodgers' situation with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've been waiting for a great quarterback for a while. Russell Wilson, you saw, had flashes, and Justin Fields played okay. Neither one of them were horrible. Russell Wilson toward the end, it kind of just looks like it fell apart, and there's a lot of turmoil, I guess, that's been behind the scenes. It's been coming out that him and Arthur Smith didn't really get along. It'll be TBD, say how Aaron Rodgers does, but Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson just command two different respect from the offensive coordinator and the players, I think so. But having said that, though, I think it's going to be an interesting thing for Pittsburgh, because I don't think that this is the worst thing that could have happened for them, because he's not going to make the bad decisions. And I think that him checking in early, and he does seem like he is all in Just the demeanor that he's having to interviews. He's shouted out Mike Tomlin completely, and Mike Tomlin's also a guy that's going to demand respect. And he's earned that respect, and I think Rodgers is going to respect that. So I think this is going to be a lot different than the Jets situation. I think Robert Salad's seems like a great guy, a good mentor, a good defensive guy, but I just don't think it was ever really going to work with Aaron Rodgers there. If there was another quarterback, maybe, but it seemed like he pretty much just tried to take over the Jets and make him into what he wanted to, and it didn't really work out, obviously. And you never know what could have happened had that Achilles injury not occurred. You never know what could have happened. But we all know how it all ended out. But I think this is going to be a good spot for him here. I do agree. I do think this is the end of the road for him. I don't think that he's going to probably come back. And it just depends on how they do. If they're competitive, the wide receivers are going to be an interesting aspect in this. Who are they going to really have? They got DK Metcalf, obviously, one hell of a receiver. But that's where it kind of ends. They got Pat Freiermuth, who was great tight end. I think, and then they also did draft the kid out of Michigan last year. Wilson? But he really didn't even play very much at all. So I think that's going to be a hard part. They might have to try to get some sort of extra veteran wide receiver. They do have Robert Woods as well, but Robert Woods is kind of, he's on the tail end of his career as well. I guarantee most people don't even know he was still in the league, to be honest with you. But having said that, I think this is going to be a good spot for him, and I think that his demeanor and Aaron Rodgers just seems like he's actually having fun again, and you never know what could happen. I mean, he showed still, even though that didn't really go that well last year in New York, like we were saying before. If you look at his numbers, it's actually not as bad as the media and everybody made it out to be. He still had some pretty decent numbers. I've had my share on the show about Aaron Rodgers' attitude and how he is sometimes and stuff, but really his New York Jets experience wasn't that bad. He definitely had some games where this doesn't make any sense at all, but it all wasn't his. It just didn't work out, and sometimes this doesn't. So BC though, man. One other thing about this though, and that's in this division. It's kind of wild to think that Aaron Rodgers is the fourth best quarterback in the division now.
No, I would say he's probably I would say he's the third best because Cleveland's always going to be a dumpster fire for quarterbacks, no matter.
Yeah, you're right. I was just thinking of Baltimore and Cincinnati. I forgot Cleveland's even in that division for a minute. Yeah, so he'll probably be third then, I guess.
But I will say though, the fact that when not to try to compare this to Brady and everything, but when he came to Tampa, a lot of people were kind of doubting how good the Bucs team was going to be. They thought, oh yeah, they have some young pieces, they have a decent defense, but he's going to be like the third best quarterback in the division. You got Drew Brees, and I think Matt Ryan was still in the Falcons at the time. So he's just going to kind of phase out. This might be like a last gasp or whatever, and then turn out and win a Super Bowl. So it could very well still work. Pittsburgh does have all the pieces, like we said. That defense is going to be potentially top 10. And then again, wide receiver might be a question mark here, there, tight end maybe. But I still think that if there's any player that could go out, with a hurrah, it's Aaron Rodgers. And I think if he does win the Super Bowl, if somehow Pittsburgh wins the Super Bowl this year, I think he retires. He calls it a career, and I think that he does what Brady never could do and go out on top.
But another thing that he could do, just like Brady as well, he could make any receiver really look good. Like if you really think about it. So maybe we don't have a wide receiver too that would come up at the top of a head when it comes to Pittsburgh Steelers. But maybe next thing you know, Wilson starts showing out. Maybe they pick up someone from here till preseason or here till the week 1. Who knows? But Aaron Rodgers is that quarterback that can make any receiver shine. So I wouldn't even put it past them if their passing game is going to be obsolete.
And if he still has zip on the ball, let's face it, DK Metcalf is a down the field threat, and he's a massive dude, so like he's going to be able to get those 50-50 balls, and he's going to be he is going to be their number one, and so like I think if he's able to get that chemistry going, it's very rare those type of athletes like DK Metcalf, his size and his speed, so even Devontae Adams back in his heyday was never the size of Devontae Adams. I'm not sorry, DK Metcalf, so that's going to be an interesting aspect to this whole thing is DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. That could be one hell of a fantasy football right there, or what? That could be one hell of a tandem right there, man.
Yep. And again, like G Mike said, they could always do like a mid-season trade. That's what Bucs did with AB. So like it can very well happen, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Pittsburgh get aggressive in doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those divisions though as well as like I understand why he ended up there because that was pretty much the only thing really left that was available that wanted him, if you will. But man, the defenses are just nasty in that division, man. Like that's going to be hard as hell, especially at his age. Hopefully, he's able to make it through that, because that's not an easy division to play in. That's especially at that age. You're gonna have to hopefully that line holds up.
I mean, it's gonna hold up better than New York. I'll tell you that. Way better than New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. And honestly, so do you think that? I mean, I think this goes without saying, but I think everybody's pretty much on the same page. He's first ballot Hall of Fame after this is it, right? I mean, we don't have to have that debate, right? Like that's
definitely.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and he's easily one of the greatest quarterbacks as far as talent-wise goes and stuff. I do think his career was a little bit underwhelming as far as rings go, but I mean, let's face it, not everybody can win as many as Brady and Mahomes at this point, and so. Yeah,
everybody can have great defenses as the Patriots did.
Yeah, no, I agree. And have just have obviously one of the best coaches. Man, all right. Well, like I said, the NBA draft is currently live and in person going on right now, and a surprise pick that I'm not very excited about at the moment.
No! Go ahead and
that is
Steve. It's your boy.
I'm trying hard not to curse, man.
It's your boy, Stevie. Go ahead and announce it.
Yeah, man. I was hoping, honestly, that he ended up in Orlando for you guys. He might. I'm sorry, for BC. I was really hoping that he landed there. That would have been a perfect spot for you guys. I wish he would have went somewhere else, man. He's just a winner.
Die.
Honestly, it's one of those situations that for Walter Clayton, I think that he has a real chance to be an actual star there. Like.
Hell no. The Wizards do not know what they're doing with no star ever. The only star that they know what they do is John Wall and Bradley Beal.
Even then, they still screwed it up. So, he's going to die.
No, him as a player, I do agree with that for sure. But
I'm
talking about
the team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he's gonna ball out. Like I've seen this kid in high school, and he's just as good as he was in high school as he was in college. Like he's gonna be a star. It's just why in Washington? Like he's gonna be like Bradley Beal. His career is gonna. Well, they're not gonna do anything.
Man, I really did not.
I feel bad for him. I wanted him to come to Orlando.
I wanted him to go to Orlando bad.
Gosh,
I think that was the missing piece.
Even Miami, keep him in the state. Like he's so good. He would fit on either team so much better than Washington. Like,
great. It's also great too because we were talking about a little bit of this before the show, just in pre-show stuff or whatever. If you haven't got a chance to see it, I'm sure they'll be showing it on social media and different stuff. But his reaction is the reaction that you want. He was in tears. He's excited. He's happy and stuff. There's been a lot of these kids were coming on before, huh?
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean it's wild. Like you can just see the effect of he showed the emotion that you would want to see out of some of these guys. Some of these guys have already been on camera, and either forgetting that there's cameras around or what, but clearly are not excited about what the places that they're going. But Walter Clayton, is just happy to be in the NBA now. So
that's his personality. There. Well, he was always kind of undervalued, I think, with regards to his size, 6'2", 199. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's not going to be anything." It's like the dude at every single level has played above his size,
including football.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, well, he's not worthy of getting drafted in the first round." This high. No, the dude's a stud. The dude busts his butt. He hustles on.
Wait a second. Okay. We are completely wrong. He's going to Utah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my word.
He's going to Utah instead, actually.
What? Because it was a trade? Because
yeah. That's part of a trade.
Looking at it right now.
I had the volume off. I didn't see what that happened. He's going to Utah instead.
I am still
breaking news though. Views from the stands.
Yeah, I'm still not high on that pick, though.
He's going to Utah. So
I still see it as Wizards right now. I guess they haven't updated it yet.
Well, yeah, no, I see it on ESPN. It says straight to Utah. It's just, oh man, dude, still gonna die, man.
Yeah, it's saying 18th pick. Wizards, but I think the pick is the rights are going to Utah.
Darn you, Mormons! God gosh,
Man, all right. So then let's go. Let's.
They're Messiah.
Right,
it's the second coming of John Stockton. Oh,
we can jump into this NBA draft since we got some dramatic stuff going on right now. I'll get to it for a little bit, and then Miami's gonna be picking it here in a couple minutes. So we get G Mike's perspective on this one. So as you can see, rocking the Dallas jersey. It's a new era, baby. It's the new era. We got Cooper Flag coming in, man. Salute the flag. I'm really excited about it, obviously, and people are gonna keep on talking about it was rigged and all this other good stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, it is very ironic that they got it. I will be the first to admit it, but I mean, you play to win the game, and they did, man. They made a horrible trade in getting rid of Luka, but they ended up working out in the favor and getting Cooper Flag. I think that Dallas is going to be a really interesting team next year, man. If once Kyrie comes back and if he's able to play after the injury, I think it's a good thing for Cooper Flag because Cooper Flag is actually going to get a chance to be the dude and learn. He's actually going to get the ball a lot more in his hands and be involved in a lot more of the playmaking. Opposed to whenever Kyrie came back on the floor. I think Cooper Flag, he's got a great defensive prowess. He can score. Every single comp has been the fact that he is a hell of a competitor. You're not going to have to worry about him or anything. He just wants to play basketball. He's only, I believe, 19 years old, 18 years old, which is insane that these kids are getting drafted at this point. He's just going to – I think he's already going to be able to take over the face of the franchise. If you can see the hashtag I got going on there, Dallas has already released his jersey tonight. He's going to be wearing number 32 unless anything changes, but he's going to wear number 32. The fans are really excited about it, and it's an interesting aspect that if you're going to lose Luka Doncic, that you're going to end up getting this guy because they are the same in the aspect of that they're generational talent, but they're totally different because his defense is so much better than Luka's defense ever was. But Luka obviously has, the Luka magic. He can do a lot of stuff. But I think Cooper Flag can also handle the ball pretty well as well. So I think he's going to fit in with Dallas, and Dallas is going to have one hell of a big team. Cooper Flag, I believe, is 6'9", 6'10". You're going to have Gafford out there. You're going to have Lively. You're going to have AD. Like that is going to be a big team, man. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to do it. They're waiting on Dallas is rumored to be looking at veteran guards such as Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, and somebody else. But, man, can you imagine Lob City with there?
Yep. I'm curious, Steve, what do you think as far as – because, again, obviously – trading away Luka Doncic, generational talent, you were kind of alluding to, maybe some positives that he might have over Luka. Obviously, we talked about his defensive capabilities are going to be above that. Playmaking might not be on the same level, but still, if he's, pretty comparable to it, that's still great to have. But then also, I'm curious, his on-ball skill, but mostly his off-ball ability. Do you think that Flag has an off-ball ability to be able to make a difference about the ball in his hands, then that might surpass Luka, or do you think they're about the same?
Yeah, and so that's kind of what I was alluding to a little bit ago, is that they're different in the aspect that Luka is just an offensive force that that very few guys can do. But where Luka lacks is it seems like the maturity and the defensive abilities. Now Cooper Flag on the other hand, you could just see, even though that Luka's older than him, Cooper Flag just comes in the room already looking a little bit more mature. He looks like he's ready to be in this spotlight. He just looks like two different guys. So I think that if you look at any of the highlights, his off-ball skills, he doesn't give up. There were Jay Billis during the pregame was highlighting a play, that big play where he stole the ball and dunked on the guy from Pitt that everybody saw over and over, He was also what a lot of people don't remember in that play was that he also had 3 fouls at that point, and he still was playing defense. He wasn't backing down for the play. So, and I think that's going to go a long way with what Dallas wants to do. And he's also going to a team that, with him coming there, they're equipped to win. And when they're just waiting on Kyrie to come back, they're equipped to win right now. And this is one of the best situations for a young player coming in to go to. They have a great fan base, and I mean, it's tough to say about the ownership at this point because they made that crazy trade, but maybe they were onto something that we didn't know. Clearly, there was something going on. There was something clearly going on with Luka in the background. I have no idea what it was. Rigged. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we had a 1.8 chance to win this thing. I mean, you tell me
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If it's rigged, then whatever, I mean, you gotta do something.
You don't control it. Steve doesn't control it, so at the end of the day, you gotta go with it.
Yeah,
they had a 1.8 chance to do it.
I was gonna say, I think G-Mike, if you and I, obviously our team, Magic, were in that situation a couple of years ago. If we all had that happen to us, we'd feel the same way. We'd be like, You know what?
100%. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm happy for it. But you got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah,
you got to call a spade.
You can
I
call
will
it
say, though,
spade, or you can call them a Mav. That's what you can call them, Mav.
I do like the fit though for Cooper. I honestly feel like at where they're at right now in their careers. Well, I mean, obviously Cooper's going to be a rookie, but I could see him being maybe a better fit for this Mavs team just based on what they have than maybe Luka, because he's not so ball dominant. Not knocking Luka.
No, I 100%
top 5
agree
player
with
in the
what you're saying,
league.
though.
But as far as what this team needs, they need somebody that's going to be more committal to defense, because you already have Kyrie, who's not the most defensively skilled player. And then on top of that, you need somebody that's not going to need the ball in his hands all the time to be able to be successful on offense. And there might be some more ball movement, I think, with Dallas now. Again, Kyrie can be a good playmaker. Flag can be a good playmaker. So you kind of, split up the playmaking duties between those two. I think you might have more team success maybe long term than with Doncic as far as the team's currently constructed.
Right, and Cooper Flag is that new, positionless basketball guy. He's a point forward, and like he can run with the ball in his hands. He can do damn near anything a point guard can do at his size of 6'9", 6'10". And the good thing is too is he's only going to get bigger. Just like kind of like take like a Giannis, or even Victor Wembanyama's already starting to put on more weight. Once these guys get actually in the gym with these strength conditioning coach, he's going to put on more weight. And be a little bit more muscular. He's already bigger than Chet Holmgren, but they're around the same size. But no, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a very interesting time for Dallas. It's really this Nico needs this to work, or else he's gone. If this does not work, then this will go down as one of the worst situations in NBA history. But now the fact that they got Cooper Flag. It's a new era. It's a new time in Dallas, and I think he's a guy that you can build around. And the other thing is, too, is just like in the Lucas situation, they got him so young. He's, like I said before, he's 18, 19 years old. So, even by the time he's done with his first contract, he's still going to be in his early 20s. Now pretty much being able to graduate high school graduating college for the most part or something. So, all right, Mr. G. Mike. So your pick is just got in. We're waiting on them to announce. Is there anybody besides Walter Clayton getting robbed from you? Is there anybody that you're excited about seeing or hoping that they're able to grab?
The Nets just picked them up. Actually, I thought we were gonna either get Walter Clayton Jr. or no, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Traore. Yeah, the French kid. Mm-hmm. I thought we were gonna grab him as well, but we just got sniped for 2 picks in front of us. Like I've never really seen that two snipes in a row. I've never really seen that, so that's pretty incredible. But yeah, we're still on the clock right now. Just to touch up on Cooper Flag until this pick comes in. Definitely, he's going to be great for you guys. It's going to be dope to see 4 towers on offense and defense for the Dallas Mavericks. I think that's going to be crazy to see. In my opinion, I think they should try to trade away Derek Lively to bring in a good 2-guard who can score, who can put up 15 points per game, maybe play some more defense too, try to help out PJ Washington with the guards and the small forwards. When it comes to them scoring and try to hold them back, I think that would help out a little bit more. But if they want to keep staying on the tall side of everything, those 4 running together, I think is going to be pretty dope with Klay Thompson, and when Kyrie comes back as well. I do think the Dallas Mavericks are going to try and sign a point guard as well. I think it will probably be Chris Paul. If not,
I would like Chris Paul.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that would be great. I've seen rumors of Malcolm Brogdon. I've seen D'Lo. I've seen Dennis Schroeder. Either one of those would be great for you guys. A good backup for Kyrie until he comes back, and even when he does come back, any 4 of those guys can play well with other guards. We've seen it happen, and when you're talking about these specific guards, so I think it would be dope for you guys. I still got the Mavericks in the mix when it comes to the Western Conference. I think they can still make runs at it. They just last season, Luka didn't play for 25 games. Then eventually he got traded. AD comes in the mix. He only played the first game. Then he didn't play for another 3 weeks. He came back, but it was already at the end of the Mavs season. So they were, already in the play-in mode. They had to go and do some play-in action. Unfortunately, they lost. But, I still think that the Mavs can do something in a West that, it's very competitive. Obviously, OKC, they just won the championship. Minnesota Timberwolves are still there. Denver Nuggets are still there. The Lakers may be there depending on how Luka and Braun come in this year and what trades they make or what signings they make. So, it's going to be tight for sure, but I still got the Mavericks in the mix, honestly.
Oh, I agree. It's still tough to see that Luka went away, but getting Cooper Flag is it changes everything. And like I think that's the dynamic that Nico and those guys had in mind. All right, my man, your pick is in, and I wanted to see you try to pronounce this one and just to have fun with it.
All right, I'm gonna try and pronounce it. Ready?
All right,
Kasparas,
Okay.
Jack Eunice.
Yeah, perfect.
Right? Perfect, right?
Exactly how he says it.
Where's he from? He's from Lithuania. He's a 6'6" freshman, 200 pounds. He averaged 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and he shot 44% from the field. Okay, so he's a scorer. We needed a score. We tried to get Kevin Durant. That didn't work out. Tyler Hero, he really upped his scoring capability last season. We need Bam to do that as well again because he took a little bit of a step back when it came to the offensive end of the ball. But getting in a shooter like this, a guard that can score with Hero, with as of now Andrew Wiggins until there's rumors that he's going to get traded, so we'll see. But as of now, Andrew Wiggins, those two they can easily be put up 15, 20. Hero even sometimes 20, 30 points. So bringing in a guard that can actually score and help out the offense when it comes to shooting the 3 ball or just scoring, it's a win. It's a win for us. So I like the pick.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick for Miami as well. He's a playmaker, and he also played in the Big Ten too as well. So he's played in one of the best conferences in basketball. So that's good to have out there. And he also is a good facilitator as well, which I think something Miami could definitely use a little bit help on the facilitating end. Like what guards you guys have right now?
Right now we have Tyler, we have Davon Mitchell, we still have Duncan Robinson, if you consider him a guard. We still have what's his name? Trey Burks? No, not Trey Burks. I think it's Trey Burks.
Yeah, Ware too or something, right?
Well, Ware's a center. But our guard position is pretty solidified. We've got Josh Christopher. We still got Triple J, even though he didn't get a lot of playing time. Pelly Larson, which he's more of a defensive player, but he did show spurts that he can actually contribute on the offensive end. We still got Terry Rozier, but a lot of Heat fans, and including myself, want him to get shit up out of there.
Terry.
Yeah.
So our guard play is right now average. Alec Burks. I'm sorry, it was Alec Burks. Our guard play is pretty average. So for this young kid to come in and try to prove himself, he will have a chance to prove himself. Drafting him seems like we are gonna get shipped out Terry Rozier, so I'm pretty happy about that. I like Terry.
Super heartbroken.
When he was coming in, I liked him, bro.
I know.
Like I really did. When we made that trade, I thought he could elevate our offense because we needed a scorer, and that's what he was when he was in Charlotte. When he was in Boston, he was doing work on the offensive end. He was putting up sometimes 15 points, some games 20, other games even 20, 25, 30. But when he came to play for us, it seemed like in the beginning he was doing work for us, but then it just started going downhill, and we gave him so many opportunities last season, and he just shit the bed, honestly. And whatever, good riddance. We got to do what it does, and we got to improve our roster. And if we're drafting a good scoring guard like this gentleman from Lithuania, Scary Terry, peace out, buddy.
Yeah, that's that. Whenever I was excited for Miami, whenever I heard initially that Terry Rozier was coming there, I don't know what just happened. It just did not work out at all in Miami. I think he was like one of the worst efficient players in the league. Like it just fell. The wheels fell straight the hell off, man.
Yeah, sad, but it happens.
I will say though, the one thing that raises a little bit of a concern for me is as a scoring guard, he's only shooting like just under 32% from three. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's like slightly below average. But the 85% from the line makes me think that he can probably fix that. It seems like he's got good shooting mechanics. He's just got to be able to adjust a little bit deeper out. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, pretty much Like you said, he fits a lot of needs for you guys. Good playmaker, also good rebounder for a guard too. Almost six
Yeah,
rebounds a
I
game.
saw that. I saw
So
that.
yeah,
Again, I don't think it's a great pick, but
yeah.
I mean, as of
Just like
right now, I'm just more disappointed on the fact that we keep losing out on big fish. Like it's just time and time again. And if
What
I go
about
into
Jace Richardson? Would you have liked him instead over him or no?
who?
Jace Richardson from Michigan State.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like with Jace, I feel like you would have to give him the ball a little bit more, and we already have a ball dominant guard in here. Like
Yeah.
we can't have another ball dominant guard because then when you play them both together, we're gonna have small ball. And if you're looking at the NBA nowadays, it's going back to the big men era. If you're really looking at it, it's really going back to the big men era. So
Yep. And that
we can't be playing small ball while everybody else is playing big, and while those bigs are 7 feet tall, shooting the three as well. Like
yep. And
we need to match it.
that's what I'm leaning more towards with my pick with the Magic, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, I agree.
It is a wild transition. It was the small, and then now it seems like it is kind of going to the big. But the big aren't playing like the traditional up the back you down big. They're having guard handles and shooting from half court shots like they're Steph Curry now. So like the big man has made a resurgence, but it's not the quintessential Shaq big man though. Like it is kind of wild how the NBA has made another transition again into another era of style of play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jace, my bad to cut you off, but Jace, he's a short guard. He's 6'3", and he's not that much of a playmaker. If we get a guard that's a point guard that can't play make, like that, just hinders us even more because we don't have a playmaking guard like that. We try to do it with Tyler Hero, but he's obviously more of a scoring first guard. We need more of a guard that's going to be putting up 10 assists per game instead of 2 assists per game.
Yeah, and that's why for me, like with the Magic, I don't really want them to go towards Chase Richardson either, just because he's undersized and he shot well from outside. So a lot of people are going to lean towards that, but it's not as big of a sample size as somebody like a Walter Clayton that is shooting high volume attempts, whereas Jace I think got like 4, maybe 5 a game. But I don't know. I'm not as high on Jace Richardson as a lot of other people in the draft, but.
So we're up to I think pick number 21. Utah is picking their pick now. I'm pretty sure that one's going to get traded to Washington, I believe. But so out of the picks that's happened so far, I know BC your team's coming up here in a couple minutes. Do you guys? Is there any good fits you guys like? Is there any kind of disappointment so far that you've seen in this first round, or is there anybody that you're like, man, I can't believe that one, or anybody that you're excited about?
Yeah,
the guy. Man. I'll go ahead, BC. You ready, man? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as far as disappointing, or like somebody that was the biggest shock so far of the round, it's Yang Henson from China, like getting drafted by Memphis, but then getting traded to Portland. That's the biggest shock for me. Like of all the centers that were going to be picked, he was one of the more raw prospects. But if you're Portland, you're getting it. At first, I saw Memphis getting. I'm like, you guys really traded Desmond Bane to get him and Zach Edey together. But for Portland, I kind of understand it. They're kind of doing a bit of a fire sale now. Like Anthony Simons leaving the team or being traded from the team for Drew Holiday. So it seems like they're kind of still stuck in this perpetual rebuild, so to say. So for a project, I guess it makes sense. But to me, there's much more better, more polished centers later on in the draft. I mean, even like the pick right after, Joan Beringer from France, I thought was a better NBA ready prospect. Maxime Reinhold and oh my gosh, his name is escaping me right now. Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton. I thought those two guys had a lot of polish to their game too, and would have been better, I think, picks than Young. But it's a shock right there. And those two guys are kind of who I lean towards the Magic wanting, or I think the Magic should go for. You've got your starting 4 set 1 through 4. Now I think is a time where you solidify that 5th spot. And some people might be against starting a rookie center. I think why not if he's proven himself. A lot of Magic fans love Wendell Carter. I just am not really a big fan of his. Like huh?
No, just very funny. Like a lot of people like him. I do not.
I do not. And
How do you,
it's one of those things. Like his calling card has been the ability to switch onto multiple positions. Which, to be fair, he's contested, shots pretty well. But for a center, he doesn't block a lot of shots and he doesn't really get a lot of steals either. Like his stocks are like he's averaged just slightly over one stock a game, so like half a steal, half a block, and that's not really good for you're supposed to be a rim protector at center. Doesn't really grab a lot of boards. He's averaged, I think, just over eight a game, and then he's averaged just over I want to say 11 points a game. So it's not he doesn't really do a lot for me as a center, the things that you want to do. And this past season, it was an awful year. Like he had career lows across the board. So I'm just not really confident. So I think they need to lean center in the first round.
So how do you feel about? I know he's a little bit shorter than most centers, but how do you feel about Johnny Broom out of Auburn?
I honestly, if I'm being, I haven't really done as much research on him as I have the other centers, just because I think I've fallen in love with more of that prototypical
Yeah,
seven
because he's
foot.
6'9". He's 6'9", 250.
Yeah, so I don't see him necessarily being somebody that. Yeah, we literally just talked about it. Like small ball is kind of dying out, and I think guys like Dell and him are more of that, small ball center fit. That oh yeah, he can switch. He's a good switchable player on the
Mhm.
multiple positions, but he doesn't do anything for you outside of that. I want somebody. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you about the kid out of Stanford. He's
Yeah,
still
Maxine.
available right now.
Oh
Maxine.
yeah, I would say if he's available, that would probably be my number one. I was a little tougher on him before, but now doing a little more research into him, I was going Kalkbrenner at first because 7
Yeah,
foot, got the big
7'1".
wingspan, yeah. But the problem is that he's not exactly the most switchable. Doesn't really like to, or he's not really good on like guarding perimeter players. Maxime has a little bit more athleticism, so I feel like if there's somebody that 7 foot, can play make, can shoot respectably, can also get rebounds really well, and can be somewhat of a switcher, like a more souped up version of Wendell Carter, so to say, that's taller. Give me
Yeah.
Maxine. I want him.
Dot, what's good with you, Dot? Hey, thanks for tuning in, my boy.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it, man. But yeah, man. No, I think you got like three centers. I think that you guys could probably go with now. Now we just got to see what the front offense for the Orlando Magic really wants to do. Because
Yeah.
yeah, you just brought in Bain. You got a guard that you needed very heavily when it comes to the scoring in. I think he's gonna very. I like the trade for you guys. I do
Well,
believe that you guys gave up a lot, but I think it's in regards of what you really want to do, and what you really want to
yep.
do is win now.
Yep.
So I think it's good for you guys. Now you get. I think it will be smart for them to actually select the center. I think you're a part of the Magic organization, so I think you got to give a call to the front office and let them know, hey, draft this guy
Yo,
Maxine or Kyle Burner.
I got them on speed dial, man. I'll call them right now. Nah.
Got him right now.
But and I didn't get a chance to talk about that. I love the Desmond Bain trade. He was a guy I was super high on back in 2020 when we drafted Cole Anthony. I
Mhm.
wanted him back then. Everyone's like, "Oh, we gave up so much for Bain." Like, no, this guy is a borderline all star, and he's going to fit this team perfectly like a glove. He's going to take some ball handling responsibilities off of Powell and Franz, let them cut a little bit more, let them do a little off ball. He can really be a big help for Jalen Suggs in the backcourt. Not going to take too much away from defensively for the team. And like you said, get a center this round. I still think they need like a backup shooting guard, that amazing shot player. And I think second round Kobe Bray could be that guy with the first pick we have there. And then just maybe getting another backup or a third point guard. Somebody that can play make. And Ryan Nemhard, I think fits that role perfectly. But sticking right now to round one, gotta go center, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yes, sir. W stream, baby. You already know that, and we on the sticks later in the Call of Duty, baby.
Oh shoot, double dipping.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
and we
So
got a lot of
anyways,
draft, baby.
MPC, you was talking about a little bit ago as well. The Magic's had a lot of stuff happen in the last couple of weeks as well. They had a rebrand as well. I know you were really excited about that.
Yeah, man.
You want to touch base
We
on
got
that a
that
little bit
first.
because your team's gonna be picking here in a couple picks. You can go ahead and talk about the rebrand as well if you'd like.
Yeah, no, it honestly, like I didn't know what to think of it at first when I first heard about the rebrand and then getting it. It took a sec to warm up to some of the stuff, but then when again, like with everything, you just take time to kind of research the logos. They went with the classic look. I like it. That's the most popular That's the most popular look that the team had, was that 90s look. Same thing with the jerseys, going with the straight up pinstripes, not necessarily the kind that kind of went out. And then even the font too. Like I like it. Again, it took a minute to warm up to, but I do enjoy it. And then I think my favorite jersey from the rebrand has to be the ones that's like the throwback to the 90s warm ups, like the black that kind of goes into that blue right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it goes pretty hard. So it's exciting. I think like it's a new season, new team, like new logos, like new players. It's an exciting time to be in Orlando. And then we talked about it before the show started. The East is going to be wide open next year. You got obviously Boston that's losing Jason Tatum. Tyrese in the finals, like him getting injured, like the Achilles there, he's going to be out. So really, the past two Eastern Conference champions and NBA champion with Boston, they're pretty much out of contention next year. So it is a now or never kind of thing for Orlando, and it's exciting to see them be this aggressive and pursuing guys that aren't 6'9" wings that are super athletic and can, can't shoot. It's nice for them to actually go for the fit, go for the need, and not just do what they've always done. And I think now I think this is going to be a team that could be top 3 easily, maybe even top 2 in the East next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's also, we always know, 4th of July is right around the corner, and that's always some major NBA news, usually involving Kevin Durant or something, it seems like. But having said that, though, Orlando still, they have their pick coming up here in 2 picks. They still could make another splash move as well. I mean, it's not saying that it's over, because free agency technically hasn't even started. There's just already been a lot of trades and stuff going on. So, that's an interesting team to watch out for, because with all those injuries, like you're saying, it's definitely a win now situation. Philadelphia is going to be interesting to watch out for, because they don't have to go through as many teams. I think you're completely right. I think Orlando has a damn good chance to really make a major leap next year. Just the East is going to be definitely very much wide open, and especially after free agency, we can kind of touch back on this and kind of go over that a little bit more. But I totally agree with you, man. I would be very excited as an Orlando fan right now, because you guys have the core starting to work really well. Franz and Paolo and Jalen Suggs is coming back, and it's just going to be interesting. Now they got Bane. It's just going to be interesting to see. And that the Magic definitely did give up a lot in that trade. But it's Cole Anthony. I know everybody in Orlando loved Cole Anthony, but he's a replaceable guy. You can replace what he did on the team, I believe, with either free agency or even in this pick that they're about to make here in a couple minutes. But it was future picks, but I think it's definitely a win now situation.
Yeah, and the thing is, most of those picks, if they're betting on themselves to be a top 2 or top 3 seed, so if they are, by the time those picks come up, they're all going to be high 20s. So, and again, Desmond Bane, pick number 30 in 2020. So I definitely get it. But again, I would rather take the surefire thing. And a lot of people aren't talking about it as well. His contract is set for the next 4 years. We don't have to worry about re-signing him. We can make a run with him. And the only guy out of that core 4, I'll be the name for him, that we need to worry about re-sign or the extend is Powell. And I know that I think he's bought into what the team is doing. So I don't think we really have to worry about him. So you have these guys that are all relatively within the same age range, like 2 or 3 years apart at most. They're young. They're all going to peak and hit their primes at the same time. And they're all under team control for the foreseeable future. This is a perfect situation, and I would rather give up a bunch of draft picks that you don't really know what you're going to get versus a surefire, amazing core 4.
There was rumors that that you guys were still trying to go for another player, and the top player that I saw that you guys were trying to go for is Paul George. How would you feel, Paul George linking up with Bane, Paolo, Franz? Obviously, other players would have to be involved in that trade, or picks, or compensation, so you can't really keep Suggs, in my opinion. But how would you feel about Paul PG-13 going over there with them boys?
It would have to be something where I'm not giving up Suggs for Paul George, especially because again,
Gotta give up somebody.
I know. Well, I'm saying it would probably we would have to give up. Well, if it's from the core 4, I'm saying no right off the gate. But if they're willing to take like a Jonathan Isaac and a Tristan Da Silva and another pick or something like that, I could maybe see it, but then again, he's going to be coming off the bench then in that situation, and it's like we're trading another young guy for PG. I just don't necessarily see the fit with Paul George. It'd be nice again to have a veteran leader on that, but I think honestly, the way these guys are gelling together, I don't necessarily think you really need that veteran presence anymore to kind of bring them together. Now you need cohesion, like what we saw with OKC. A lot of young guys on that roster that are in like early to mid 20s, not necessarily a veteran guy. Maybe Alex Caruso is like the only example of that, but he's not commanding huge trade assets or anything. So I don't necessarily like the fit, but if they can somehow swing it to where you're only giving up maybe like a Jonathan Isaac or maybe a Tristan Silva, I could see it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. So.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know. PG-13 doesn't really it kind of I don't know if that would really fit Orlando as well. I don't know. I like the scoring aspect that he could bring or something, but I don't know if it doesn't seem like a solid fit in there. Well, and you brought up a point a little bit ago about not having to you think Paolo's kind of bought in. I think prior to this trade getting Bane there, you might have had to possibly worry about him because like he seems like a very humble superstar kind of guy. But yeah, that only lasts for so long after the same things keep on happening. You guys don't seem like you're getting any kind of extra help in there or something. He clearly needed some help. So I think now that you guys actually locked up Bane in there, I think that's really going to easily make it a lot easier for him to want to re-sign in Orlando and be part of the rebuilding and all that good stuff they have going on. But prior to that trade, I don't know. That might have been a little bit more difficult to actually pull off. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And like just re-signing him, just assuming that he's going to stick around.
Yeah, some of the pieces that they were talking about trading him for, they were all guys that were going to be on expiring contracts. Anthony Simons, Colby White, and we would have had to give up, I think, significantly, maybe not significantly more to get them, but again, what you giving up, multiple draft picks and probably a player or two for a guy that's probably going to be gone the year after. So, I like, and Bane, for all intents, but I know obviously you got to say that you're bought in and stuff like that when you first coming here. Like it's not, but he seems genuinely interested in when he came to Orlando, when he got traded here. And I remember reading an interview or seeing it on a magazine, newspaper, something where when he went to his agent in the summer to go over trade destinations, Orlando was the top of the list because of the young players that he had and the fit that would have been there. So, like I said, I wanted him back in 2020. I was disappointed when we didn't get him, but you know what? 5 years later, it's all good. It's on the squad. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into one of our down bad debates. We got the Orlando Magic pick coming up in a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and do our debate so we can jump back in and get Brandon's reaction to the Magic, and then we'll end up probably just wrapping that thing up after that or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this debate. This one's going to be kind of fun. It's a fighting-themed debate here, and you guys just have to let us know what you think here. Also, I can break it down for you on the screen here. Well, the idea is to make $10 out of these fighters here. You got John Jones, Mike Perry, Yulia Romero, Ilya Tapia, Alex Pereira, Max Holloway, Tom Aspinall, Patty Pendleton, and Conor McGregor. Each one has their own value over here. Mr. BC, you're up top. I guess you're in good thought here.
Real quick. How are we gonna do this first? Let's set up some ground rules because last time.
You know what? I was gonna say it could be a snake draft. First person, second, third, and then third, second, first. Pretty much.
But one of us might have just only two fighters.
Yeah, I think the idea would just be to come up with make it $10. Whatever you want to do to make it $10. You
gotta pick one from each one.
Okay. So I feel like we're all gonna pick the same guy here right now.
You know what? I will actually, Steve, it's all right with you that you're on the bottom. Why don't we let you go first? I don't mind deferring to this one.
All right, fine. If we're going from the top, and this is and clearly John Jones is definitely the better out of all these guys on the top here. That's not a doubt. But if we're going off of power and punching ability here, I'm going to go Romero, actually.
Dang it.
Romero's a great choice for sure. But when it comes to fighting, it's not all about power. It's not all about – it's strategic, baby. And John Jones is the best of them. He's the best of them.
Myself in the foot, man. I shouldn't have – I thought for sure I'd get Steve to go John, and I thought G might want somebody else. Dang it, man. It backfired on me. Well, I guess I'm going to – I'm gonna pick from the bottom two then, since I got some time. Since I already know who I'm gonna get then for my fifth. So give me for my number. Let's see. Give me for my number 3. Give me Max Holloway. Feeling it. I like Iron Jaw right there. And then for my number two, or $2, give me Conor McGregor.
All right. For $3, I'll take Ilya. That's how you pronounce the name? Topuria? Ilya?
Yep.
First name?
Topuria. Yep.
Man, come on, man. I got John Jones, the GOAT, and right now that's a rising superstar in the the featherweight, and then now in the lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
They're going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right with this though. Actually, give me Alex Pereira any time of the day. I will take that any time of the day, and I'm up again now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, then give me Patty. Patty is definitely on the rise, man. Patty looked great the last fight. So yeah, I'll take that
Patty
any time of the
great,
day, man.
For sure. And then I'll just take Aspinall because I got no one else to get. But I was gonna pick Patty. Patty is a great fighter, bro. Big fan of Patty, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So I'll go ahead and so for my 3 up here, I'm going to end up going with Yelio Romero. I'm going to go Alex Pereira and Patty Pimbleton for my 3.
I'm gonna go John Jones, Ilya Topuria, and Tom Aspinall.
Unfortunately, I get the distinction from the top of taking Mike Perry, but then I think I do a little bit better towards the end with Max Holloway and Conor McGregor.
Either way,
Either way, what?
Oh, I say either way, you're going to be just fine in that fight.
I just want to say the Heat's draft pick is one of the 2 freshmen last season that dropped 15 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game. You want to know who the other guy was?
Guy drafted right after?
Cooper Flagg, baby.
Oh.
Cooper Flagg.
Oh, yeah. Where's he play again?
My dog Dot said he taking John Jones, Max Holloway, and McGregor. Great.
I was one off, man.
Right.
I should have went first. I thought for sure.
I gave you the opportunity. I gave you the opportunity up here, man.
You know what though? Next
I can't believe y'all let me get Pereira just leaving him out there like hands of stone. Ain't got nothing to like. Ain't gonna knock somebody out.
Max. I like Max's ability to take punishment. Like dude's like freaking.
Pereira's not gonna beat John Jones, dog.
Yeah, that's true. That's the ultimate comeback right there. So
that's not going to happen. That was actually my bold prediction of the year last year. Or the beginning of the year was my bold prediction was going to be John Jones is going to fight Pereira, and Pereira is going to beat John Jones. But that's definitely not happening now.
Oh man, we on the clock.
I don't think so. At least.
Oh, they on the clock now. But before they make their pick, let's talk about 317. So we got Topuria going up against forgot his name. Wow. The 317
Charles Oliveira.
Oliveira. Yeah.
New Bronx, baby.
Do you think Topuria can knock him out? Like he's been knocking out a lot of fighters lately, or you think Oliveira will submit him because he's one of the greatest when it comes to submitting?
He is the greatest.
This one's really tough. I'm a huge Oliveira fan. That's one of my favorite guys. I love Duke Bronx, man, but I just think that kind of like whenever Pereira, I was kind of wrong on that one. Whenever he fought that last fight, but when these guys are on this heater that they're on, man, it's tough to stop. It's tough to stop these guys, man. And Topuria has just been knocking people out. He's been laying them out. He's just been looking on fire right now. I'm rooting more for Oliveira. That's definitely what I'm going for. But I think that in the end result, I think Ilya's going to be able to get him though, man.
Yeah. Crypto Wolf here says, yeah, he can knock him out, but he needs to avoid getting gassed for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how many times have we seen great strikers go up against great grapplers, and what's the story? So,
and Oliveira has a standing game too. It's not as if he's all completely on the ground as well. So
I think that this goes. I think Oliveira wins it, and I think this is one of those where he'll come back later and learn from it, and then take the title back. That's just my thought. I think this is
I don't know, man. I think it's hard to shoot down the high hand, dog. And right now, Topuria is the high hand. He is not backing down from anybody. People keep doubting him on him jumping from weight class and saying that he can't do this, he can't do that, and he keeps showing time and time again that he's doing it. Not saying that he's going to take down Oliveira. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think if Oliveira does get him on the ground, I think he could definitely win that for sure. Like I said, he's one of the greatest when it comes to submitting. But again, Topuria, if he just gets that one good lick, it's done for him.
Right, it's impressive the people he has been able to beat, and it's like a bunch of guys that like have never been knocked out before. You know, like that's impressive. The knock some of these dudes out that he has. I mean, and the guys that he already has beaten, that resume is already pretty sick to begin with, and it's all been in with the last few months or so last year. So I mean, that's impressive as hell what he's been able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think the co-main event's gonna be a pretty fun fight too. So I think this card is gonna be pretty good. The last card, that last major one, 316, was a lot of fun as well. We didn't get a chance to talk about that one, but that was a fun one as well, man.
I'm trying to look up the co-main event right now. I don't see it here on the lineup.
Yeah, I agree. If Oliveira is able to keep this going past round 3, I think he's got it won for sure.
What's the co-main event? Because I can't find it here.
We'll jump back to that in 1 second real quick. The pick is in, Mr. BC, my man. Is there anybody that's left on the boards that you're kind of hoping for now? Because I mean, I know a couple of these guys that you want to see.
That's my favorite right there. Maxime Reinhold, Ryan
Kalkbrenner,
or Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Any of those centers right there.
Jürgen Fjürgen.
I swear, if we get any of those guys that sound like speed, it's gonna be so fun. Yeah, you need your hair,
shoot the three ball.
Man, y'all have
stretch the floor.
Y'all have a wild last names for guys there. If you guys get one of those guys,
yeah,
man.
dude,
Team International right there, man. We got Paolo, we got Franz from outside the States. Franz Wagner and Moritz.
It's gonna be an international
Franz,
team, man.
Franz Germany. You got the Wagner brothers.
Yes, and then you got.
And you gave Mo Wagner to come back. I think there's going to be a good.
If we get Mo back, that's going to be a stud.
I think he is going to come back. He's been out for a long time now. He's been out since like before half of the regular season.
Yeah, he'll be. I think they're saying he'll be back around like December or January, sometime in there.
Yeah,
but and then Paolo Banchero.
The Italian.
Yeah, you know what's kind of wild too is that it's kind of cool seeing some of these kids that their parents played, and now you're seeing like their kids actually go. Like Ron Harper's son, he got drafted, I believe, 2nd overall to was it Dylan Harper to San Antonio. Like it's kind of cool. Some of these guys have their legacy is carrying on of some of these people. And one more kind of cool thing I found out today, I didn't realize that about Cooper Flagg. His mom was a baller as well. His mom was, I guess, 1,000-point scorer for the University of Maine. So she could ball. And all right, man, BC, the moment of truth is in. The pick is in for the Orlando Magic, buddy. You got to drum roll.
Before we do that, is it far-fetched to say the Magic copied the Raptors and Brandon?
You got Jace.
No, boy, oh boy.
Jace Richardson.
He didn't get a center, no.
Oh, no.
I knew that we were going to get a guard. It's just I wasn't expecting it to be now. I was expecting them. They are really high on Dell. All right.
Why? He shot 50% from the field. He shot 84% from free throws. He only averaged 2 assists, averaged 1 steal, averaged barely a block.
Yep.
Again,
they're leaning on the 41% from 3. I understand it, but then you look at the attempts per game, he only had 3. Like,
it's tough.
That's what most modern centers take per game. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too hard on him. Like we talked about before, like again, working state championships, he was probably the most underwhelming of the sons of former NBA players. I get it. But maybe he's just gonna take that leap. Maybe I am wrong. I think there's this better.
I was highly impressed with him in the tournament, to be honest with you. He especially whenever they played Florida But they didn't play Florida, actually. No, I take that back. But anyways, when Michigan State was playing, though, I watched a lot of that tournament that he was in, and he looked really good, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, I liked the way his poise was. He looked like he got some great defense. I don't think that's a bad pick for you guys, honestly. And I mean, he can probably come off the bench and be, so like I don't think that's a horrible pick. I mean, it would have been great, obviously, for you guys, but
I will say, like, I'm not disappointed with it. Like, again, obviously, like, I would have wanted to go center here, but again, I've been seeing the way they've been making moves lately. Like, obviously, Desmond Bain, obviously, like, they're doing stuff differently. So I'm gonna trust that they see something in him that I just didn't see at the time. Like I said, and a couple years have gone by. He's gotten better at his game. Obviously, again, I wanted to see more out of him, but like you said, he did really well in the tournament. So I think that maybe just that growth and that progression over the course of the season going into the tournament is what won them over. And if they see him as the guy that's going to be that replacement for Cole Anthony, all right, let's do it. I'm just interested in seeing now what they do with their next pick. Like, are they going to maybe trade that? Are they going to trade maybe their last 2 second rounders and so they can move up and maybe draft a center early second round? Because there's still guys on the board. Those 3, if they make it to the second round, I could see them doing something like that. So,
speaking of the second round, do you guys feel like the NBA draft should be 2 days or should just be one? I don't know why they're making this into 2 days. Like, just make it one long day. It's only 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't watch the draft, so I can really can't say anything.
I don't know. It's just like
to me, it's just boring, bro. Honestly, I'd rather watch it on ESPN. I think I get more entertained by just watching on ESPN and actually going through the stats and looking at videos and the videos that they actually show on live TV and the stuff that they say, because it's just, in my opinion, propaganda from themselves of what they want to say for certain players. So I like looking at it on ESPN on the draft cast, personally.
Yeah, no, I just meant like I just feel like that the NBA draft, like the NFL draft, I get why it's a couple days. Like that's long. That it's multiple rounds and stuff. But 2 rounds, like cut out some of the extra BS of showing like people's reaction or something like that, and just get to the picks faster or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's silly that the NBA is doing a 2-day draft for the second round. I don't think anybody's gonna watch the second round.
Yeah, most of these guys have pretty much like all these teams have made up their minds by the time the draft pick gets there. So. Like it doesn't need to be that long. So I think pretty much like with all of our picks, like I would say like I think we're all more or less like thumbs up for all of our picks. Obviously, Steve Cooper Flag can't be much more than like you probably got 2 thumbs up right there.
Yeah,
said real pretty.
And it's toes.
Yeah, I got toes up too, man.
Yeah. So and then G Mike, I think you and I like. It's one of those where it addresses a need, and it's one of those where we're going to probably see over the course of the next few seasons how it progresses. Not maybe an instant impact, but someone that can contribute to the bench in areas that we need them to.
Well, I mean, for the past 2 years now, the Miami Heat have decided to be mediocre. So I've learned to live with it.
Yeah. So I mean, I will say again for limited sample size with Jace. He also does play mistake-free basketball, and that's something that we've kind of struggled with as well, especially with the bench. Cole Anthony, love the guy, turned the ball over quite a bit. So, maybe we...
Yeah, he was a risk taker, though.
Yeah, and that's the reason why a lot of people loved him. And again, he was a legend on the team. He was basically the guy...
I don't know about legend.
No. No, the people here. I'm talking about strictly in the eyes of the people. You ask any Magic fan about Cole Anthony, most of them.
He's a legend. Hell no.
Bo Outlaw's a legend too. So Bo Outlaw's a legend over here too. I'm just saying, like it is what it is. But
so what is Penny Hardaway and Shaq? If they're legends, or Penny Hardaway and Shaq,
they're like gods over here. Man.
They're like gods.
They are, dude. It's basically their Hall of Fame.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like Penny, Shaq, T-Mac, and Dwight. Those big 4. Those are the big guys right there. But yeah, I mean, Cole did bring the team through a really rough time. When he was the first one that kind of ushered in this new core, but. I do like the fact that you're getting basically the same guy, but more efficient and doesn't turn the ball over as much. I'll take that. I'll take it.
And he's the son of obviously Cole Anthony is too, but you know Jason Richardson was big time. You know, the Golden State Warrior days, the Phoenix Sun days.
One of the best
Even
stuff.
though obviously Greg Anthony was big time too when he played, but you know, I feel like Jason he does have the potential for sure. If you have a parent that is involved in any sort of way in the NBA, and you're trying to obviously get it to the league, you get drafted by the Orlando Magic, you know, you have upside for sure.
Yeah, and if let's say maybe the Bane pick, or even like if they decide to deal Suggs, like I mean, you could slide him into the starting lineup. He could very well be that kind of efficient off-ball creator. It could work, but I think his role on this team, if he can be that, like I could see him being like a sixth man of the year kind of guy. You know, at least like for the first part. No, I mean like that's like his ceiling. Like ceiling to be sixth man. Yeah, ceiling sixth man of the year. The floor is still a very respectable guy you bring off the bench to ignite the offense. Super efficient and won't turn the ball over. So
yeah, and let's face it, the NBA is built around rosters now, man. Like you have to have depth anymore. That's what the new thing it really is to it. It's a lot of guys that are used to be considered role players are now becoming actual dependable. We need to have them guys out there. But
yeah, and for your core, again, for your starting lineup, you got your core four with Wendell Carter Jr. at the 5, with Anthony Black and Jace Richardson, Tristan da Silva, J.I., and Mo Wagner off the bench. That's a really deep roster. So
I like it.
Yeah, man.
All right, fellas. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up for the night, man. It's been a hell of a show, and it's been fun. It's been a little while for us. We're trying to figure out what the schedule is for the rest of the week. If we're not going to be able to make it around for this weekend, we're not 100% sure, but we will be back next week for sure. The NBA will have NBA draft reactions with both rounds done, and then we'll be jumping definitely into some more baseball talk and definitely getting a lot more into football because that's getting so much closer, and everybody knows we love football. So, Mr. G Mike, before we take off, man, you got anything for the people?
Yeah, guys, if you could please like and subscribe, share the show with your family and friends, or even strangers that you see up out on the streets. We really appreciate the love, support, and the care that you guys have been giving us. You know, we're getting a lot of subs on the YouTube channel. We get a lot of followers on the TikTok. You know, we're trying to get up our views. So if you guys could help us out there, it would be very greatly appreciated.
Mr. BC, man, you got your new website out there. You want to promote anything and say anything before we leave?
I mean, I will just say it's really cool to be able to have that stuff out there, and also not just putting my work out there, but also to just being able to just talk about what, you know, the journey's been like, the ins and outs, the ups and the downs of being in this industry. And it's a grind. Anybody out there that is hearing this and they want to get into sports media, sports journalism, sports broadcasting, like any of this stuff, know that it's like any other job. It takes time to get to be where you want to be, but if you put in the work, if you hustle, you grind, you're going to get there, and enjoy the ride as well. Don't focus so much on, you know, getting there that you don't enjoy the journey as well, and the growth, and just enjoying the people as well that come along for the ride. Like two of my good colleagues right here, man. Boy, G Mike and Stevie B, man. I appreciate you guys, and just be thankful for everybody that comes in your life. So, peace to the brand, man. That's where we're making it.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Metallica, man. They put on one hell of a 2-day show, even in their 60s. I cannot believe that they're still able to do it like that. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Vetix for hooking it up to go to my favorite metal band, Parkway Drive, last Sunday. It was one hell of a show. I Prevail was there. It was just an absolutely outrageous show. Pantera was at the Metallica show, and Iceland Kills, some of my favorite bands. So it's been a hell of an awesome concert. So Florida, continue to get these bands out here, man, because we need good rock music. So we appreciate everything you guys do. Please, please, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mailman. We don't even care who it is. Just let them know about Views from the Stands, and we will see you guys very soon. Peace. We is out.
Peace.